Good morning, this is Ray with another segment of God's creations. What I'm showing you right now is a perennial sweet pea, or known as an everlasting pea, Aethatheus latiforlis. You see here I have this pink and I have a white. These are different than the annual sweet peas that we normally plant in the fall or late winter. These are perennial. They act basically as a evergreen here in southwest Georgia or southeast Georgia. And these two colors are the only two colors I have. I understand there's also a red one. These are not fragrant. They're deer resistant, and I have these seed out, and I plant the seeds, and it takes the little plant, a couple of years to get big enough to bloom. But I have them all along this fence that encloses my bigger daylily garden. As you can see, the rose mallow hibiscus blooming in the background here this morning. A second flower I want to share with you is this Coreopsis or tick seed. This also is a wild flower that grows in North America, and for me it seeds out and comes up. In fact, I'm going to pan here and show you a bunch of small ones that are growing in this little segment of the garden that I like to leave for wildflowers. At one time I had sowed a whole pack of, the wildflower seeds that you buy, and a lot of things were growing in this. About the only thing that's growing in here now are these Coreopsis, and they're late. They should be all of them blooming by now, but they're not. Also, some other things have come up in here that bloom heartily, and this is the Rudbeckia. But Coreopsis, there's quite a number of these in the species. There's 75 to 80, and many of these you see growing along the roadsides, at least in Georgia. And at one time I had a tall one that had a red center, and somehow or another I've lost it. In fact, I just lost it from last year to this year, somehow or another. But they self-seed, and once you have a bunch of them blooming, and this will be gorgeous once they all start blooming in here. But I wanted to share that one with you this morning. Another plant that I grow in a pot is this angelwig begonia, or cane begonia. This is a hybrid created by, I understand, Ava Gray in 1926. It can grow up to it can grow up to 10 feet. And most people use these as a house plant. There are other begonias, different species of begonias that you can plant out in the yard, and they act as annuals. But I keep this in a pot and take it back and forth. Usually keep it on the porch, but this year I've had to bring it out here in this rooting bed, and it's doing quite well. They're easy to grow, they're easy to root from stem cutting. They need lots of light, but not direct hot sun, because the direct hot sun will burn the leaves. A bi-weekly feeding of some kind of liquid fertilizer will be well for these when they're grown in the house. Something else tonight, I don't have a lot of information for you on this one, but there's a small flower blooming again in a pot right behind it. And this is Thunbergia, or blue clock vine. I have two of these Thunbergias. This one does not really vine a lot in the sense of twining or that sort of thing, but this one acts more like a shrub. It will get tall, but it needs something to either be staked or a fence or something to lean up on it. And for us here, In this region, it is not cold hardy, so I keep it protected. But the flowers, once the flowers are all over it, you see the blue purple and the yellow throat. Gorgeous plant, and one to be used in a control situation. In John 2 verse 3 says, we know that we have come to know him if we keep his commands. The next verse says, if we don't keep them, we're a liar. Keeping the commands of Jesus Christ is not an easy thing for Christians to do. And yet the command is there. And he says that we always have an advocate when we do sin. We can bring these to him, seek forgiveness, and he will forgive us. Be faithful today. Have a good day in Jesus.